BodyArmor LYTE Series East is back, and they're on their own here tonight as we head to northern Vermont and the Thunder Road Speedbowl here in Vermont. 10 years since we've done a race at this very racetrack on the channel, but we have been here before, way back in the day. The Hers Elimination Series ran a race here in its first season. 10 years later, we're back here on a Monday night around this wild quarter-mile racetrack, and this is going to be a very fun race here tonight as we run 63 laps in the Vermont 250, race 10 of the BodyArmor LYTE Series East. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to Thunder Road here in Vermont. We are here for the 10th race of the season. I've been looking forward to this race since I announced this series. This is a racetrack where we ran a couple of races all the way back in 2015. We have not come back here on the channel since, but here we are, here tonight on one of the wildest short tracks that you're going to see. And this is a real-life racetrack. As a matter of fact, SRX was going to come here a couple of years ago. Unfortunately, Mother Nature had other ideas that time, and then SRX went away. But here we are in the BodyArmor LYTE Series East to run 63 laps around this wild quarter-mile racetrack. Joe alongside Matt Tuck and Ludovic Shred. As a matter of fact, they'll have the call for the race. I'm going to step aside for this one. And Matt, you said you've never seen a race here before. So what are you expecting here after seeing what this racetrack is like and how small it is here around this Thunder Road?
Well, just initial observations. I don't see a lot of walls. So that's exciting. I don't see a whole lot in the infield either. So that's exciting. Joe, it does look, the track does look kind of nice for passing. I was taking a look there, just not a whole lot of practice run there that I got to actually visually see, but the track doesn't look terrible. It looks like they can get kind of up into the second lane, which is always important. So I think this should be a fun little race here tonight.
And Ludovic, you got your team here. This is also a bit of a home race for you in a way, just over the border there in Vermont. And Joshua Neely starting on the outside pole. The outside lane might have a little bit of advantage. What are your tips for Neely and Dylan Matthews in this race in their attempts to go to victory lane for the first time this season?
Just avoid just sliding around. It's something that's quite common on this racetrack. Just sliding in the corners. Avoid the wrecks. I'm most likely going to be a lot of them. And be clean, and you try to go up to the outside. That's I think it probably will be good, especially because I don't think we have a cycle of pit stop here today. So it's just try to be clean and try to go a bit to the outside, but not slide around the car too much, because sometimes it's easy to lose it around here. It's kind of a tricky race surface.
It definitely is, but it's going to be a fun race. I did some changes to the INI to make that inside lane work a little bit more, but it is going to be a very even racetrack on the two lines, and we're going to have some great racing because of it, and excited to see who goes to victory lane here in the 10th race of the season. Here's how they line up in the points, and excited to see how this championship battle goes, because you got the guys who are 1 point off each other in that points lead, starting alongside each other in row number 2. Alexander Rowe did not have a good run at Watkins Glen. Very odd strategy in that race. Kind of took him out of contention, and Aaron Abel ended up jumping quite a bit on that number 40 machine in the title race here in the E-Series. You got Alexander Rowe there, 1 point ahead of Aaron Abel with 6 races left to go in the season. We still have a combination race, actually still 3 combination races for these guys. So they're going to have to be careful when we get to the showdown races at Iowa and Gateway, and then the BodyArmor Pro Series combination race at New Hampshire. Guys aren't going to be by themselves too much longer. Only 3 races left in the season where they will be by themselves. And that's going to be Richmond and Toledo, where we have those E-Series only races, and Toledo, of course, being the finale in early October. Deeper in the points, you got Ryosei Fujimoto 9 points behind. Campbell Marsh is 18 points behind, and Dylan Matthews 24 points behind, tied with Chris Reynolds for that points position. And of course, only the top 10 finishers receive championship points, with 12 points going to the race winner, and 9 points a second, and so on down to 10th place. So we'll see who gets those points. We'll see who goes to victory lane. Before we get these drivers to roll off, send it to Matt and Ludovic. Gonna get you guys some picks here. Who do you think's gonna go to victory lane here in this Vermont 250 at the Thunder Road?
Dun 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 dun. I'm gonna go DEI racing legend Anthony Hernandez going to get the job from inside row number 3 done here tonight?
I gotta go with Alexander Rowe. I mean, he has been really the more dominant driver in general this season, I feel like. And he's starting, inside row 2. That's an interesting spot. But he's probably going to want to keep that points lead, and will definitely push a lot today. So I think he can win.
We'll have to see what he can do. Of course, he's been very strong. 3 wins on the season in the East Series. We'll see if he gets his 4th one here tonight, and I believe it would be his 9th win on the channel this year. He's got 5 over in the Sprint Series. Got that win, didn't get the win at Dover, but he's still leading the points over there in the Sprint Series, ironically ahead of Aaron Abel as well. We got Corey Case, Joshua Neely in row 1, Alexander Rowe and Aaron Abel in row 2, Anthony Hernandez and Josh Marzak in row 3, Ryoji Fujimoto, Andrew Williams in row 4, Dylan Matthews and Kyle Craven in row 5, Reggie Fogelman, Christian Vargas in row 6, Jared Martin and Campbell Marsh in row 7, and then it's BB Ruiz and 04 Chris Reynolds. And we got one Pro Series driver here tonight, that's Carson Miller in the number 21. Let's go ahead and get these drivers to roll off. Gonna send it to Matt and Ladovic for the call, this one here in the Vermont 250 at Thunder Road.
Well, it should be a fun one here tonight, Ladovic, essentially in your backyard, and I don't know what's going to happen here in the Intersys Racing tryouts, but this should definitely be a fun night.
Yes, it probably will be. It's going to be very wild, and I do expect the start to be very crucial here. It's pretty hard to overtake.
Should definitely be an exciting one here, but inside pole sitter Corey Case, Josh Neely to the outside for the de facto home team, and we come off at turn number 4. We are racing back here on the channel for the first time in forever at Thunder Road. Oh, that's not good. They're already 3 wide here on the opening lap, and Josh Neely in the 00 did not get a good start. There's going to be massive contact there as Case gets shoved around, and already look at the 2 drivers from row number 2, Ladovic. They've already cleared the leaders here, and Alexander Rowe back out in front.
Massive start here. He went 3 wide on the first lap. That was not what was necessary. And this racetrack is a bit known locally for kind of the payback you can have around here, and I do believe that we might see some drivers very angry. It'll be to see as they're still 3 wide in the back. It'll be to see if oh my goodness, they're very close. Oh,
that's a big. Oh, that's not good. That's not good.
Are we green?
Oh.
Yes, we're green.
Race control said we're on that Bowman Gray caution clock here tonight. Absolutely everything goes if it's not blocking the racetrack. That was a wall ride of the century there. Oh my goodness here. I mean, you got the 99 to Andrew Williams. Here's a guy who his cup program has been having an absolutely mad run as of late. He's moving his way. And Anthony Hernandez. This is a guy we know knows how to put the bumper in the back of people. He's going to get to the inside of Josh Neely here for a position. This is a lots of great overtaking going on here. This track definitely looks like it has a high lane, but it also has a very good low lane that these guys can use to their advantage.
Yes, it's going to get harder though as the race goes on, with the tire getting on. And it's going to be very interesting as the race goes on, because now you're going to have a lot of cars with a lot of damage. And that'll be interesting to see how the drivers that don't have damage and are pretty quick here are going to be able to deal with that.
Yeah, and I think that number 70 Intel machine of BB Ruiz is going to be a moving roadblock here for our leaders in not too long. Oh, that's not good. That's really not good. Oh!
Big hit.
Oh!
Caution's out.
That is the 21 car. And we are under our first caution of the night. Should be our second yellow. What a wild open. That is one of the wildest opening 12 laps I think I have seen at any short track in this game. My goodness. Alexander Rowe, he saw Corey Case and Josh Neely on the front row, Ladovic, and he was like, I will have none of this.
Yeah, I cannot deal with that. And he just... Yeah, I mean... the heavens kind of opened for him to go in that first place. And we're lucky we went 12 laps because a lot of drivers just went to that third inexistent lane. And really, if you enter a corner and you're on that turn lane, that's what the 21's done. That's going to happen to you. You just don't have any grip, and you have a bit of grass, and you go in the wall. But under caution here on lap number 14 of 63.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick commercial break here. We got to take a look to see a vicious impact there for the 21 machine, and we will come back here after the replay. Well, we're going to watch Miller here. He had a problem. Surprisingly, BB Ruiz, who just went on a freaking wall ride, has not come down pit road, but Carson Miller did, and I don't fully know if he just got the tires dirty, tried to gas it up on that. You see with that top of the track there kind of flattens out a bit and doesn't really have any grip whatsoever. And then he went and was like, I'll do some lawn work for the grounds folk here. And he parked it in the wall at a very, not a terrible rate of speed, but that was a big enough impact to do some significant damage to that car. And that is our first caution here of the Vermont 250 and what has been an absolute madhouse race to this point.
All right, and yeah, sometimes you just get tires dirty, and then, well, you know, they're cold coming out of pit lane, and you hit a bit of the sand there, and I think that might have upset the car a little bit, and he just came out of there too confident. So that's the end of this day, and our first caution of the night. But if the racing continues like this, we might have a bit of a caution fest on our end. Let's hope not. But insane racing to begin with here.
Well, we're back coming to the restart here. Carson Miller, he went and drove his bright orange Kubota into the wall, and it did not end well for him. He has been checked and released from the Infield Care Center, and we will see more of him this weekend here on the channel. Boladovic, it's Alexander Rowe, it's Aaron Abel. 1 point separates these top two here in the championship. This should be a very fun battle to see if Abel can find his way by Alexander Rowe.
Yes, it's going to be very interesting. I think that what could happen is that we could see some bump and runs late in this race if Abel is unable to overtake him. I just noticed what I did there. And they're already going side by side for third place. Bit calmer restart, but oh no!
Oh no! Oh no! They brought the Pacific Racing engine in the 00 tonight, and Joshua Neely is out of this race, the de facto home race here for Intersys, and he's going to have to just bring that thing down to pit road here, and that is night done here for our outside pole sitter. His car went kaboomy, and he is out of the race here. But Fujimoto is moving through the field here for Dutch Atlantic, racing to the inside of Anthony Hernandez, and shout out to the 82 here of Reggie Fogelman, doing a good run tonight despite not having a good points position. I do want to give a quick shout out here. Bradley Reed's team here in the East Series has put up some impressive work. The 6 of Campbell Marsh has been very competitive this year, and Alexander Rowe leading the championship here. Shout out Bradley Ream. Great return to the channel here for him.
Very good job by that team. Look at that gap that Alexander Rowe has been able to pull off early here. And, I mean, he doesn't want to caution now. What's going to be interesting is if he continues to pull that gap and we do start getting some wrecks at the back, which considering how hard they've been racing, I'm expecting we'll see some more. It'll be interesting to see if there is lap traffic before the end of this race and how that could end up going for the leaders here. And they're still going 3 by 3 there, basically.
Yeah, they're still trying to do a bunch of 3-wide overtaking here. I mean, you got 64 of Dylan Matthews here for the home team. Trying to work her way to the bottom of the Krispy Kreme machine there. Jared Martin, who's not having a great night here for NS Racing, and Alexander Rowe continues to just pull a bigger and bigger lead, and I know his lead in the championship is only 1 point at the start of tonight's race. But I mean, we joke about it. There's going to, you know, Alexander Rowe versus Aaron Abel, you know, he owns a cup team. So we have a good idea what Aaron Abel is going to be doing on the grid next year, unless he goes a completely route we're not expected. Alexander Rowe, I mean, this is pretty significant for him to be able to win this championship and make that kind of a statement heading into the free agency period.
Yes, definitely. He had been seen as a kind of equal ratings merchant, you could say, before this year, but I mean, now he's proving it. He is one of the top driver on the channel, and I would expect him to get an actual very good ride next year, especially considering some of the drivers that are leaving out, letting some spots open. Maybe he doesn't get a full-time ride, maybe he gets an Uncharted ride, but that's good. He's going to get a chance to prove himself. That is if the Uncharted cars were to come back next year, which we do not know yet. But yes, Alexander Rowe is pulling ahead, and can we also tag, it's not as impressive because he's in second, but the 97 of Aaron Abel is pulling ahead as well, and is really just getting out of here, both of them.
No, I agree. Aaron Abel, this has also been, you know, maybe we're not giving him as much of the discussion here in the discourse of this championship fight, but he's a point behind Alexander Rowe in this championship fight. And he is clearly starting to flex some muscle here late in the season against a lot of these other drivers. So I don't think he gets enough of the credit because we know what he's going to be doing next year. Has a very accomplished Cup team. But back through the field here, we still have tons of great racing. Josh Marzak for Avalon racing to the inside of the 6 at Campbell Marsh. These Avalon guys having a decent night here tonight. Then you got the 1 of Kyle Craven here for Mall Racing. He's going to put the just complete body door there to Dylan Matthews in the 6. Haven't seen anybody really touch the grass since that initial start of the race outside of Carson Miller. Yeah, I think they saw. Andrew Williams using up all of the 4 car there, Fujimoto.
And you know, that's the kind of moves that only an experienced racer can pull off. That is razor thin margins, and you know, 1 centimeter or more to the right, and both of them could have gone to the field there on the outside because there's no wall.
Fujimoto said, I'm going to learn something real quick from the veteran Andrew Williams. Back to the inside goes the 4. They're going to go side by side. Oh, that's not going to be good. Oh, and they're going to save it.
How did they save that? Especially in the grass. That was very impressive for both of them in terms of record avoidance there. But Fujimoto having a good night here, and third in the championship is kind of a no man's land in terms of the championship. You know, about 7 points back from the race for 2nd place, but 9 points up on 4th place. Fourth place. So it's you know, he's kind of in a situation where you just want to keep pushing and keep getting closer to that race lead, to that points lead. And maybe if Alexander Rowe or Aaron Abel makes a mistake, which for a moment seems unlikely, he could have a chance here at the end of the season.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, don't count out Campbell Marsh, Alexander Rowe's teammate, or Dylan Matthews. She's a little bit more of a long shot. But like Alex said in the pre-race show, you still have a couple of combination races left in some of the tracks here as the schedule winds down. I mean, we saw earlier Carson Miller going into the lawn, and BB Ruiz went for a wall ride. You do not know what can happen when you get to some of these short ovals. They can bring out some absolute madness. It's brought out the madness tonight in everything but the race for the lead past lap number 2, because Alexander Rowe has pulled a 4-second lead, about to be over 4.1 seconds this time around, on a very small, oh my goodness, just pulled 2/10 that lap on Aaron Abel. I mean, he is absolutely, he's in a different zip code here tonight. He's half tracking on Aaron Abel here. Mike, 14 laps to go here. I don't think anybody can stop Alexander Rowe tonight.
Well, you know what, Ken? The lap traffic. If he is not careful with the lap traffic, he might, you know, he can hit some of them, and that is a danger here, because if you clip somebody around here, this you know, it's called the Speedbowl for a reason. it's a very, very short racetrack, but they're going very quick because the turns are just made that way. But it means that the cars are kind of unstable, and if you do hit somebody accidentally, you can just spun off into the background and never to be seen again. So you need to be very careful here approaching the 37 of Christian Vargas.
He needs to be careful, but he also, because he has such a big cushion here, as long as he doesn't start bleeding half a second a lap, he caught Christian Vargas and even gained more time. He just needs to not get into an accident here, and he will be absolutely fine. He has such a big gap here with only a handful of laps to go here. And we're going to head to Iowa in 10 days' time. That is going to be an east-west combined race, but this guy right here has to be the favorite heading into that. And he'll get to race some of the GRT affiliate drivers, so that'll be fun as well. But I think Rowe really has been across both the East and the West Series this year. I think he has really been the standout. Ooh, got to be careful there. Jared Martin almost gotten to him, but handful of laps to go here. He is still working through the traffic, and he is not losing any time here on Aaron Abel.
That Iowa the combination race will be very interesting, and it's a crucial kind of race for these drivers because they're sort of proving themselves to the bigger teams for next year, we're approaching still the season. Realistically, in a couple of weeks, all the major signings will be made for the big teams, so it's going to be very important for these drivers to perform well at Iowa, to perform well here, and that's definitely what Alexander Rowe is doing. And yes, it's oh my goodness, they're really just very, very tight, and he doesn't want to lose time, even though he doesn't have to push it that hard. And are they trying to go 3 wide at the back? Nah, they'll avoid it. It was a very interesting race.
Oh I mean for a race that's been a complete belt to you-know-what here, this has definitely been one of the most interesting types of races of that I have seen here in a hot minute. And Alexander Rowe, 2 corners to go here, pure domination in the Vermont 250. He comes off the corner and is going to score another victory here in the BodyArmor LYTE Series. There's Aaron Abel. Good drive for him here tonight. Oh my goodness, a wild race there in the championship. The top couple drivers there behind him as well. Corey Case had a nice night here around getting a 3rd position. Anthony Hernandez did get into the top 5 there. And Fujimoto was able to put the belt to the rear of the 99. Andrew Williams got up into the top 5. Dylan Matthews had a strong finish there. Campbell Marsh, decent night there again for Bradley Reams guys there. But that was one of the most interesting short track races I have seen tonight, and a guy whose stock just keeps rising and rising. Alexander Rowe stepped up to the plate once again here tonight.
He's unstoppable.
Yeah.
It really seems like he's unstoppable in this series. That is his 4th win in 10 races here in the East Series. Still 5 races left to go, and you point out Iowa and I think Gateway in September as well. Those are going to be races that a lot of guys are going to be watching for. Alexander Rowe, really one of those guys that can become a free agent for the Wall Wall Cup Series. You have to win the championship in the East or West to get that reserve and be able to be a free agent for the Wall Wall Cup Series. But at this point, Alexander Rowe has a very good opportunity at doing that here in the East Series. And if he gets into the Wall Wall Cup Series, keep in mind, he's actually won a Wall Wall Cup Series race before. So this is a guy, he's been around. He's won the Daytona 500 before. He knows what he's doing, and I think a lot of us want to see him in a full-time Wall Wall Cup Series ride for 2026. I know you guys are looking at him. That's all I'll say about that. You guys can elaborate further if you want, but top 10, Alexander Rowe, Aaron Abel, Corey Case, Anthony Hernandez, Ryosuke Fujimoto, Dylan Matthews, Campbell Marsh, Andrew Williams, Kyle Craven, and Reggie Fogelman, the top 10. What a race here at Thunder Road. That was a lot of fun, even though Alexander Rowe won by 5 seconds on a track where the lap times are 12 seconds. Still a great race here at Thunder Road, and what a return here for the East Series, and in 10 days we're going to be at Iowa, so that championship's going to really get interesting because it's only going to be 4 points going to Iowa, and if Alexander Rowe has an issue there, Aaron Abel can strike and take that title away. We'll have to see if that ends up being the case, but fun race here from Thunder Road.
Yeah, it was a very interesting race here. I've never actually gotten to watch a race here before, so there was definitely a lot of great racing up and down the field. Please, Sprint Series, come here next year. I think that would be an absolute madhouse with the bigger body National Series cars racing around here. But absolute domination from Alexander Rowe, and I think people forget this is a guy that's his 20th career win on the channel. Just broke a tie with Trey Bartow, and he moves his way into the top 10 all time. And I'm gonna be honest, guys, he's gonna find himself the pace he's on this year. He's got some room that he can go up here with just the last few races to go.
Yes, and you know, it's not just Alexander Rowe. It's been very good today. Aaron Abel, it needs to be said, also pulled 3 seconds, which is kind of crazy on the third place. It seems like that racetrack was really just, but I think, yeah, that racetrack was just very conducive to massive advances. But I think that the 00 of Joshua Neely exploding also had a lot to do. So yes, it seemed like a massive domination. And it's, you know, it's another proof that Alexander Rowe is a top caliber driver. But I'll add a caveat that I don't know if the 00 didn't explode and some of these drivers didn't, you know, get bunched up together. It could have been very, very close. And I think it would be very interesting to see another series. Whether it be, maybe they'll Nova Pro Series, not this year, but next year. Could go back here. It'd be very interesting to see another race here.
Well, hopefully we will find a slot for this track in something next year. I haven't built the schedules yet, so we'll figure that out. Regardless of the fact, we had a lot of fun here tonight, and we're excited to see how the next race goes. When these guys combine with the West Series, Alexander Rowe versus Ryan Durrani. That'll be a lot of fun, and they've been together a couple of times already, but I think for the first time in a little while, they're really clearly two of the best drivers in the LYTE Series, and they're going to go after it against each other at Iowa Speedway. And that'll be, I believe, on July 31st when we do that race. That'll be a lot of fun there, a really high-speed racetrack there. And it's going to be a very, very interesting fight to the finish in the championship for this series, because even though Alex Rowe seems like he's dominating everything, Aaron Abel's only 4 points behind him. And a lot can happen between now and the finale at Toledo, beginning of October. Thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Alexander Rowe. Huge thanks to Matt Tuck and Ladovic Shirt for calling this one for me. And we will see you guys this weekend for the JBL Brickyard 400, one of the crown jewel events in the Wawa Cup Series. Matt, I think you remember that race very fondly from last year. We'll have to see if your team gets the race victory with Paulus or maybe even Hubert in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But regardless of the fact, we'll see that one on Saturday, and we'll also have the Sprint Series on Saturday, or on Wednesday, I should say, as well, with the Indy 200 there. That'll be a lot of fun as well. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Congratulations to Alexander Rowe. Here are the points for the BodyArmor LYTE Series East after 10 races. I will see you guys later.